Boreda boys, hei sann alle sammen, og velkommen til min kanal. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Why the Welsh greeting? Why the Norwegian greeting? Well, the greeting goes out to everyone who's watching, of course, and it goes out to a very kind Englishman. And this record that I'm about to show is from a Welsh band, and it's the Manic Street Preachers, which I assume the title will have already revealed. This video is a VCLT video, Vinyl Community Love Train, and it is a completion time video. So for me, this is one of the most special unboxings I'm going to be doing all year. First of all, of course, because it's a VCLT and it's from Rob Walker, who's been very kind to me. And I'll talk more about that later, if I can remember. And also because this is, well, this is a very special record for me. So let's unbox this and see what's here in, shall we? So I got myself a knife, and here is the box he sent it in. So yeah, let's try and do this carefully, since Rob was so kind to do the very kind thing for me. Some of you know this year hasn't exactly been great for this guy, so kind gestures like this really made me happy and smile and all that. Right, so been a fan of Manic Street Preachers since, well, I think the early 90s when they first arrived on the scene. Back then, I did buy their first studio album, I remember. And then probably didn't really register their second album coming out. And then gradually again, in and out a little bit, and when they sort of had their resurgence there in the middle of the 90s, I've been a big fan ever since. So I'm going to ask Rob if it's okay that I mention him and, you know, say what's in the content here before I before I upload this video. So here it says, "Let the music play. Enjoy, Morton. Best wishes from Greater Manchester, Rob." Wow. It's a quick word about how this came about. I mentioned to Rob, well, I didn't actually mention it. It was, we were doing a live stream together. And for some reason, Rob, because one of the other people in the live stream was showing a Manic Street Preachers album, Rob grabbed one of his and showed it, and I just said, yes, that is the one Manic Street Preachers studio album I still haven't managed to get on vinyl. It came out in 2009, and it hasn't seen a repress yet. And they've done 15 and 20 year anniversary things and 30 years anniversary things. So maybe it is coming in 2029. I don't know, but he then says, "Do you want me to send it to you?" And I said, "No, you." And all that, and it ended up with him doing that, and I shall now show you said record. and it's a wonderful album. The artwork is stunning. So this is Journal for Plague Lovers. I can't believe I finally have this. Wow. So the story behind this album is that, of course, they lost their fourth member, Richard Edwards, sometimes after releasing their third album, The Holy Bible. He disappeared, and has never been found. And he wasn't much of a musician in the band, but he was their main lyricist, and they picked up sticks and kept going afterwards as a trio, and achieved colossal success, especially in the UK anyway. And some years pass, and I don't know if this was at the time when it was decided that Richard wasn't he was going to be considered to have passed away and not missing anymore. But anyway, I think his family gave the band lyrics that he had written, poems, etc. So this album is written, the music is written by the guys in Manic Street Preachers as per usual, but the lyrics on this album is actually a journey back in time for them at the time. And the lyrics are written by Richard. It makes for a poignant listen, if you like, and which makes it even more odd, having struggled to find this album on vinyl finally, because I do have one of these. Because back when this record came out, I didn't have a turntable. I didn't get one. I was without a turntable from '95 until 2014. So yeah, and so this is contains original demos, and this was actually the first one I bought, the CD, and I bought this at Heathrow coming back from South Africa, having visited my friend Donovan. And so the tracks are Peeled Apples, Jackie Collins' Existential Question Time, Me and Stephen Hawking, This Joke Sports Severed, Journal for Plague Lovers, She Bathed Herself in a Bath of Bleach, Side B, Facing Page, Top Left, Marlon JG, Doors, Closing Slowly, All Is Vanity, Pretension, Repulsion, Virginia State, Epileptic Colony, and William's Last Words. And so have a look. There we go. Rob has been cheeky and put a few extras in here, so I'll look at that towards the end. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. George Bernard Shaw. All lyrics, Richard Edwards. And all music, Bradfield Jones and more. There is the man himself, Richard Edwards. We have the lyrics. The Manics have held up a very consistent system of fonts and presentation. On the records ever since. Pretty much. I don't know for how long, to be honest. But yeah, and here is the old vinyl there. There you go. And as often the case, one side... Well, no, actually, that wasn't the case. No, because often there are sort of more information on one label and artwork on the other with the Manic Street Preachers. Yeah, so so obviously, Rob, I just have to thank you so much for doing this. It's really made me very happy. What a wonderful thing to do. Yeah, now one of my sort of quests is at an end. That sounds like it came from Monty Python. Our quest is at an end, the Holy Grail, etc. You probably remember that. That leaves a couple of bands that I now only have one vinyl album missing. It's Weezer, although it's actually kind of two, but the other one is kind of one of those B-sides albums, which is also something that I'm missing from Manic Street Preachers. But their B-side album on vinyl has only been released once in a very limited run, and I think they currently start at around 550 euros on Discogs, so I don't see that happening anytime soon. I actually came across their first compilation at Big Dipper not that long ago, and they wanted, and that's not the B-side one, but they wanted 2,500 for that one, so I did not buy that one. The other one is Super Furry Animals with what is it? Light Years, Dark Days. Still missing that one. They have been reissuing, but the last two were released by Rough Trade, so one of them I had to go on the second-hand market to find. And yeah, those are kind of it for me as far as the big ones that I've been looking for quite a while. What else did Rob put in this? Well, inside the Manic Street Preachers record, there was a Rolling Stones single, and he knows I love the Rolling Stones, and I very recently got their brand new album. Very recently finished my studio album collection with them, by the way, on vinyl, and I bought these two a couple of days ago. So this one looks like it's from Tattoo You, and it appears to be a Spanish copy. So, so the front says Enciendelo. Enciendelo. Now that sounded Italian, didn't it? Does that mean Start Me Up? Because it is Start Me Up. No use in crying. Yeah. It says Grabación sonora original hecha por promote something Barcelona, etc. So yeah. Look at this. This is really cool. Del LP Tattoo You. It says Start Me Up and then parentheses Anciendelo. I'm a little verklempt. And he has also included something I don't know what is. This is Pylon with Gyrate, the debut album from seminal post-punk legends Pylon. Remastered from the original tapes, first repressed since 1988. In the fertile art rock scene of Athens, Georgia. That's where B-52s got started up, and REM. In the early 80s, the band to beat was Pylon, says The New Yorker. America's best rock band, says Slate. Independent retail. Here we are. An entirely new experience for me, this. course, I may have heard them mentioned sometime, and maybe I'll put the stylus on the old record there and go, oh, them. But this is very exciting. Thank you so much, Rob. This is fantastic. Diolch and fantastic. Oh, great. New music experiences. All the way from Greater Manchester. Volume, Feast of My Heart. Precaution, Weather Radio. The Human Body. Read a book. Driving School. Gravity. Danger. Working is no problem, and stop it. That's very, very interesting there. And this was inside the cover. So I put on a football jersey. Sort of, I don't have anything in Manchester. Nearest football jersey that I have to Manchester is either Stoke, which I wear all the time anyway. I think I actually have my old Stoke one underneath here. And they're releasing a rather odd third jersey this year. It's it's painted in the camouflage of a Spitfire. Yeah. That's probably a thing you can do when you're in the championship. And the other one would be Peterborough, I think. Yeah, probably. So Oldham Athletic, official matchday magazine of Oldham Athletic. Of course, this is why I did it. It's Athletic versus Stoke City. Saturday, 10th of February, 1990. And at the Oldham Metropolitan Borough Council. Look at that. That is cool. It's funny, I said this before. I never been very, very that interested in football. I love baseball. You know, in Norway, loving baseball is, I don't know, like living in the Gobi Desert and loving fishing from a rowboat, I suppose. Back when I was a kid, every boy had to choose a favorite English, we didn't know the difference then, football team. And so most of my friends were, of course, this was the late 70s, they were Liverpool fans. My brother is a Liverpool fan. But I usually don't choose favorite things that way. And I will often not watch a TV series for several years or a movie for several years if people tell me I should watch it, because then I worry that my mood will be colored. I don't remember what my father's favorite football team was. I think it was kind of Arsenal, because Arsenal was the Norwegian King Olav V's favorite football team. I don't think Olav IV had a favorite football team. Back in 13 odd 90s. I don't remember if the Premier League was that well established yet. So I was really good at collecting football cards, i.e. winning them from other kids. And but people say, "Oh, what's your favorite team?" And I sort of alluded the question, and then finally I said, "I got to choose something." So I chose the way I choose my favorite team from the uniform. I loved the red and white stripes, the black pants, and sometimes white pants, I suppose, and black socks of Stoke. And Stoke sounded good in my ears. And I've had the experience that no matter where I go in the world, someone will say their favorite football team, and unless they meet someone who agrees with them, they will immediately sort of be confronted with some sort of hostile comeback. What? You like them? Oh, you're blah, blah, blah. I have never, ever in my life experienced that anyone reacts negatively to me saying my favorite team is Stoke. I don't know if it's because they are such a old team that somehow gets them a pass, but I think what is likely is that no one is threatened by Stoke, and so and I don't usually come across Port Vale fans or anything like that, so I think that's the reason. But Rob, this is fantastic. I really appreciate this, and this was the smiling gesture I needed going into this weekend, and with everything. So happy for this. I am of course going to ask you if it's okay for me to post this, but anyway, guys. So before I leave you, and because I now can, I thought I would show you my Manic Street Preachers vinyl studio album collection, and we start with their debut album, Generation Terrorists. A lot of people who have this and then nothing else. Wonderful album, which got me into the band. I don't have my original CD of this, but I do have a deluxe CD version. Then we got Gold Against the Soul. You know, that sort of considered difficult second album, but I love it. And I have a signed copy of this by the 3 living members, and various CDs of this as well. And then one of my favorites, the Holy Bible. This is vinyl and CDs in this. I also have a deluxe CD version of this. And this one is very special to me because I bought this at is it Spinners, the oldest record shop in the world. Not current, not I didn't buy it in what was the old, because they had to move, but it's in Cardiff in Wales. So this was bought there. Therefore, I'm very fond of it. And on a later trip to Cardiff, I also bought this one, which was their big comeback after losing Richie and all that, and that's the wonderful Everything Must Go. They follow that up. And so this was a whale for me, or a grail, as some of you say. I prefer saying whale. When I finally managed to get this on vinyl, because this is one that I waited too long, and then I got it, paid nearly £100 for it. And then just half a year later, it was reissued. So, the wonderful This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours. So, this is the reissue version. I don't have the original cover of Know Your Enemy. But, again, a wonderful album by them. This one as well. Lifeblood, which I have in 2 versions, because the other one is a colored vinyl. These I ordered from, so these were 20th anniversary reissues. Another strong album here, the 10th year collector's edition of Send Away the Tigers, where they did a duet with Nina Persson from the Cardigans. Your Love Alone Is Not Enough. And then we got another great album. This was the album that came out just a year after Plague, for Journal for Plague Lovers. This is Postcard from a Young Man. And you'll probably recognize the actor there. And we got this one I had to go online and get from Discogs. I remember holding this in my hands when I was in Cardiff last. 2013's Rewind the Film. Very nice album. And then another Discogs purchase. This is Futurology. This is a very sort of a very Berlin type album, and probably mine and many others' least favorite, but an amazing album cover. Resistance is Futile. And then in January 20... No, hang on, sorry. We got Ultra Vivid Lament. Again, a very modernistic album from them, I thought. And then in January 2025 we got what is for now their last album. I wanted this cover, but this is the back. One of the few ones I actually bought in a record shop here in Oslo. So this is Critical Thinking. So yeah. So there it was, my Manic Street Preachers record collection on vinyl. So once again, Rob, I want to thank you so much for doing this wonderful thing. Like you mentioned, I did need a bit of a cheer me up, and this was a huge cheer me up. This was the... I mean, people have sent me records and helped me get records before, but, you know, this was the Manic Street Preachers. So thank you so much. If you guys have any comments about this, please leave those. Please head on over to Rob's channel, of course. I just passed last night 2,000 subscribers. I hope that it's okay that I boast about that. I want to thank those of you who have subscribed to me lately. Thank you so much for joining my channel, and please click like, and I hope to see you guys soon in another video. Bye bye.